Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
Number 7. PUSTOYE Lake. This lake in western Siberia can boast crystal clear fresh water, beautiful forests on its shores, and absolutely no life in or around it. There are no fish in the lake, birds don't fly over it, animals steer clear of this picturesque location and don't even come to drink. Scientists have examined the water of the lake, but nothing toxic, poisonous, or the least bit dangerous has been found. The researchers did notice some bubbles going up to the surface, but those turned out to be as harmless as the water itself. In an experiment to get to the bottom of things, the scientists released the most undemanding fish, pike, carp, and perch into the lake. After some time, even these robust species died. The same exact thing happened with aquatic plants the researchers tried to grow in the lake. The vegetation simply rotted. All this has made the lake a thing of legends. Its name is surrounded by whispers, myths, and even some conspiracies. And while PUSTOYE Lake looks like an absolutely normal water reservoir, and scientists have found nothing foul whatsoever, don't try your luck taking a swim in it. Number 6. Exploding lakes. There are 3 exploding lakes known to people so far: Lake Monoon and Lake Nyos in Cameroon, and Lake Kivu in Rwanda. These lakes appeared over pools of magma separated by a dam volcanic rock. From time to time, magma releases methane and carbon dioxide right in the water. When it happens, these toxic gases suddenly burst out of the water, sometimes even causing lake tsunamis. In something called a limnic eruption, poisonous gases get free from a toxic cloud that kills nearby animals, plants, and people. In 1984, 37 people suffocated to death at Lake Monoun. And in 1986, an explosion on Lake Nyos killed 1,700 people and 3,500 livestock. Number 5. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole. Eagle's Nest Sinkhole, also known as the Lost Sink, near St. Petersburg, Florida, has been called the Mount Everest of diving. From the ground level, it appears to be nothing more than a pond, but narrow shafts at the bottom of the pond lead to a much larger underwater cave system with over 2 kilometers, 1 mile of charted passages, rooms larger than a football field, and shafts no wider than a doorway. The cave's deepest point is 94 meters, 310 feet below the surface. The comparison to Mount Everest is due to its remoteness, difficulty, and spectacular beauty. It's also an incredibly dangerous dive site. Like the Samaisian Hole, the depth of the Eagle's Nest Sinkhole is such that Trimix certification is recommended. The use of only regular air can lead to disorientation below 46 meters, or 150 feet. Cave diving certification, previous cave diving experience, and diving with a guide familiar with the area are also highly recommended. Guidelines are used for divers to find their way back to the surface. Even with experience and equipment, veteran divers have died in Eagle's Nest. Some have simply blacked out. Others become tangled in their own guidelines, eventually running out of air. Number 4. Yenisei River. Russia's Yenisei River divides western and eastern Siberia, flowing north before emptying into the Kara Sea. The world's 6th largest river by discharge, the Yenisei is thousands of kilometers in length and passes through several major cities. It is also a major source of hydroelectric power. Many Siberian villagers depend on the river for fishing. In addition to being an important waterway, the Yenisei is also severely radioactively contaminated. A bomb-grade plutonium factory near Bolshoi Balchung has been discharging radioactive particles into the river for decades. Radioactive isotopes have been found hundreds of kilometers downstream from the factory. Nevertheless, the management of the factory insists that there is no radiation danger. Around 64,000 people live downstream near the factory, not to mention the many more that live along the river within range of where radioactivity has been found. Statistically detectable increases in rates of breast cancer, leukemia, and genetic defects have been found in communities downstream from the plutonium plant. Despite the radiation fears, those who live on the river still eat fish from it, hoping they won't get sick. Number 3. Boiling Lake in Dominica. Featured in the Angry episode Across the Boiling Lake, The flooded fumarole shore temperature is between 185 and 197 degrees Fahrenheit. But the central area of the lake hasn't been measured because no one can get there safely. The lake is filled with bubbling grayish-blue water that is usually enveloped in a cloud of vapor. It can be clearly observed that the water is actively boiling. The latter is believed to be caused by the heat from a magma chamber beneath the lake. Some people, however, may not take the risks into account and fall victim to the allure of the steam. Dominica's boiling lake is the second largest hot lake in the world. The largest is the Frying Pan Lake, located in Waimangu Valley, near Rotorua, New Zealand. Number 2. Pink Lake. That's not Photoshop. Lake Hillier in Western Australia is indeed as pink as it looks. This is a shallow salt lake that's beautifully edged with white salt formations and surrounded by eucalyptus forests. And if you were wondering about the reason for the amazing color of water, you won't find an answer. Even scientists are at a loss as to what makes the lake so pink. In 1950, a group of researchers investigated this place. Their theory was the lake's color was influenced by saltwater algae, which tended to produce a pigment if the water was too salty. However, no trace of algae was found. Even now, 70 years later, scientists still don't know how the lake manages to stay so amazingly pink. Some believe that the color might be a sign of some deadly contaminant. Others suggest there's an unknown life form in the waters of the lake. They say that something alive could be causing the lake's bright color. Due to these concerns, those who support this point of view believe it may be dangerous, if not fatal, to swim in Lake Hillier's waters. But even if you don't think that some alien creatures dwell in the lake, it's still highly unpleasant to swim there. The Pink Lake is extremely saline. Due to the exceptionally high salt content, there are no fish, and if you get in the water, it's recommended that you don't stay there for longer than 10 minutes. Number 1. Blue holes. Now, these mysterious and amazing formations were created by nature thousands of years ago. They're located all over the world and have the common name of blue holes. They are sinkholes situated underwater. In fact, they are vertical caves that branch into numerous long underwater hallways. Most blue holes are open to the public. However, some of the biggest ones have acquired a really bad reputation among divers. For example, there's a blue hole in the Red Sea. Wow, that's colorful. That attracts adrenaline junkies from all over the world. This formation has an incredibly complicated structure with hundreds of underwater tunnels. Unfortunately, this hole didn't receive the nickname the Diver's Cemetery out of the blue. Yep, too many inexperienced divers underestimate their skills and, let's say, don't manage to return to the surface in time. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.